Earth has just been visited by the perfect solar storm.
The sun kicked up this just incredible solar flare and a massive amount of energy headed towards Earth.
Not only was this storm one of the two most powerful on record, it was also one of the fastest. Ejecting from a sunspot aimed directly at Earth, it raced from the sun to our planet in less than 18 hours.
Now it takes a really fast rocket ship years to get to the sun. This storm, this cloud of electrified particles, managed to get here in less than a day. That's incredibly fast.
Fortunately, the perfect solar storm took place in 1859, when the only technology vulnerable to the onslaught was the telegraph. Since the era in which we have become dependent on high technology, we've yet to see another perfect solar storm. The question remains:
perfect storm? Well, I'd say yes, we can. There's no doubt about that. The effects that would be on us today compared to 1859 could be devastating.
The effects on Earth and on our communication systems, we don't exactly know. That's the scary part.
it's likely that our modern technologies would be battered like beachfront houses during a hurricane. Imagine if we lost all the satellites that relay cell phone calls, television signals, and bank transactions. And what if, at the same time, the failure of power grids cascaded whole regions into darkness for hours or weeks? If these essential services couldn't be restored quickly, chaos wouldn't be far behind.
It would definitely be a ripple effect upon society and every man and woman and child that lives on this earth.
Solar storms can be as hard to predict as hurricanes. While forecasters lack the technology to foretell the next perfect storm, they do know that one would be more likely to hit at the peak of the sun's 11-year sunspot cycle.
What happens is the sun reverses the direction of its magnetic field every 11 years. So in 22 years, it reverses and comes back to where it was.
As we near the reversal every 11 years, the number of sunspots increases, and there's a spike in solar activity.
We call that period solar maximum. And those periods are interspersed about 5 years apart from periods we call solar minimum.
So you have this 11-year back and forth between the sun being sometimes very ferocious and it goes crazy and it's like the 4th of July with fireworks all the time. And then it starts to ramp down, and for a few years it gets quieter until we get to a low point where there's a firecracker now and then, but not a lot going on.
Just like hurricane seasons, solar maximums vary in intensity. Some produce many more powerful storms than others. Although we're currently at solar minimum, scientists are watching carefully to see what mayhem the next solar max might unleash.
So the last solar maximum was in about 2001, and so the next one ought to be about 2012. But there are different predictions. The whole field of solar physicists is basically waiting with bated breath to see what actually happens.
There are some wildly divergent opinions on what's going to happen. One group is suggesting that this next solar cycle could be the strongest in modern times.
If those predictions are correct, Earth could be in for a wild ride.
We might have to worry about a repeat of the 1859 event. If that were to happen today, it would wreak untold damage.
We're going to learn a whole lot about what can happen to modern technology when the sun blows its top.